I like to think in terms of systems. I like to think in terms of living systems and what enables living systems to accomplish many things at once. And toward that end, there's one organizing focus to which I'm going to devote myself this next year. There'll be other things as well, but that organizing focus will be to recruit moms and mom-oriented organizations and groups. And the objective that I'm adding to the mix here, certainly for us to consider and for anyone who may want to participate in this, is that we recruit 1 million moms, mostly moms who are already involved in organizations. So we don't have to recruit new moms for a whole new cause. They got enough on their plates already. But there are lots of moms organizations out there that care about the future for their children, and they're motivated around a set of issues that are already, animating them. And I know a lot of those moms because I've got 18-year-old twins, and moms and dads are really concerned about the future of our teenagers these days. Boys are in deep trouble. They don't know what to do with their lives. They've lost a sense of meaning and purpose. And girls are doing much better from that standpoint, but they're dominating in school and dominating in college and so on, but still a lot of folks suffering from a sense of lack of agency or purpose in their lives. And we see the impact of digital media on that, the impact of our aggressive, fear-driven media system, our strange politics, and so on, all affecting that. And moms care about nothing more than the health and safety of their children. So I would like to recruit 1 million moms who can be champions of the circular economy objectives that we and others set. And I'd like to find them in church organizations, in book clubs, in yoga clubs, in garden clubs, in environmental organizations, in Republican, MAGA, woke, New Age, all kinds, because I think that that's where they have that capacity, generally speaking, to weave together into an alliance. And that alliance can be helpful to all of us. It will decide what companies put into the marketplace. Moms will decide, if they choose, whether those 10 marketplace objectives that we've set become imperatives that brands embrace and drive. And if the moms say those are important to them, then the brands will embrace those objectives, and all we have to do is have one major global brand per objective, and those objectives will become the norm globally. Moms also will decide the outcomes of all elections and all competitive elections, all primary elections and all general elections. Certainly if they are competitive, moms will decide the outcomes of those. So as we recruit those moms, I would like to see us focusing in on those geographies that are most impactful politically, so that we're not just generically trying to attract as many moms as possible, but we surgically make sure that we have them in the districts, in the parties where we need them. They'll cost us hugely less to that kind of organization and produce much greater focus. So in those geographies and then in those markets, the brand leaders. These are people who are easy to identify nowadays thanks to big data and information technology and so on. These are people we can identify and recruit directly. So that's one that I will put on the table because I think it will serve us all. Are there other objectives? And first of all, if you differ from that, or you can improve on that idea, please do. I want to see us advancing the best ideas because I want us to be successful. But what other ideas do we want to put on the table of what to accomplish? Peter?
But just with that, do you have a name? Like, what do you call the mom's organization?
Well, I'm not confident about creating a new organization, although it could be. We have a title for the organization, and by the way, we have a set of interns, these brilliant young interns who have done an inventory for us already of mom-oriented organizations. So we know who we want to reach out to, a set of groups that we want to reach out to. We've called it Mom Power. We've called it,
Can I propose?
Power Moms. We've called it Empower Moms. Yeah.
Moms for Humanity Flourishing.
Moms for Humanity Flourishing. So there we go. So yes, John.
So I love the idea, and there are other moms groups already in this space. I don't know if you're aware of them, but you might want to reach out to them.
Oh,
For
absolutely.
example, Mothers Out Front, which is a fantastic organization. Broad range of folks in it, and men are welcome now too. Originally, it was just moms. They're
Is
doing
that in the climate space?
in
Moms Up
climate
Front?
space.
Fabulous.
Yep. And
Fabulous.
another group that started in the Boston, Cambridge area called HEAT, which is started out with
like that.
With moms, and their original focus was leakage from the last mile of the fossil gas distribution system, which is a huge amount of methane going into the atmosphere and causing a lot of climate damage. So get out there, connect with those folks, and see if there's either partnerships or allyship that you can
Do
pursue.
you have connections there? Do you have people that you know there?
You can,
That'd be
we
great.
can talk later.
Great. I'd love to do that. We don't need to recreate the wheel or create the new, all moms everywhere organization. It's a matter of creating a connection and a link between the groups that are already out there and empowering them. So we don't have to do the work. We just harness, harness the. There's plenty of work to go around. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that and on other ways that we can accumulate more power and save ourselves time and effort and money along the way, and also objectives that we may want to advance as a part of our campaigns.
I really like the suggestion earlier today, I think, of having celebrities and their power of influence being part of the mix. And I know Greta was mentioned, but maybe there are other ones that could be the right pick for this kind of things.
Yeah. So more of an outreach to celebrities. I think celebrities would be a great thing to do for this next Earth X. We've tended to not have celebrity participants, except Van Jones has been a tremendous ally for us and continues to be, and we'll certainly harness that support in the next year. But yeah, celebrities, that maybe we get involved in this early on so that they become a draw for us in the next year. We don't have to wait for next year to start it. We could actually partner with celebrities to have action in the meantime. Bill Maher is another one who was really helpful to us. And Bill Maher, has a unique political voice because he's not hard left or hard right. He can bother both sides, and he's been willing to send out our messages and so on to his couple million followers. So he'd be a good one, but others as well. Kim Kardashian has been a great ally, in criminal justice reform. Maybe she could join us, in this arena. But any connections that people have, first of all, names of celebrities, of course, that you might want to bring in, but people that you have connections with, we have a little time to do that and plan for it.
Anything you can do to reduce polarization in the country, I think, rather than being nonpartisan, being bipartisan is a much more effective strategy, because when people see Republicans and Democrats talking together, it not only is a new message, but it has a kind of cathartic hope
Yeah.
for the future.
Yeah.
And if we can talk together civilly and have joint action, almost anything is possible. So
I like that. And maybe emphasizing that as a message point. Now we've got some good video and good film, frankly, of Republicans and Democrats talking to one another. We have the members of Congress who spoke yesterday. We have 2 Republicans here in the room. Well, I'm a Republican as well. So, but in terms of... And the closet. There are many other Republicans, and right there in San Francisco, the progressive community. I know a lot of secret Republicans there who, they're not Trump Republicans, but they're like, this has gone crazy. What we're doing here is crazy. We better do something else. So having those people right next to each other and showing it, and that, yes.
I would encourage people in our own community to seek those relationships in our own community.
Seek those relationships in their own community.
In our own, yes, in
Yeah.
our own community.
Mhm.
If you know a Republican and a Democrat, and you
Yeah.
develop a relationship with them in your own community,
Mhm.
and all the things that you're talking about, how we're gonna reach women,
Yeah.
bring it into your own community and be a living example between now and when Earth X happens again. And I think it will be an amazing charge
Yeah.
of really how healing is going to happen.
Mhm.
Healing is going to happen in local ecologies.
Yeah. Local ecologies, local ecosystems, local communities. Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to expand a little too, I think, on the depolarization comment. That's desperately what we need. I think it's a space that EarthX is leaning into, so I'm thankful that you guys are bringing all these different voices and opinions together. But I think we also need to think about the solutions that we're promoting, because the solutions matter to how people react to the problem. And so much of the work has been on the left, and so much of the solution sets come out of the left, and therefore they reinforce progressive ideology, and therefore the progressives love it and conservatives hate it. We don't have a lot of solutions out there that reinforce conservative ideologies, but there are lots of solution sets to climate action that enhance conservative ideology and work well with conservative ideology that we need to get out in the space and start promoting. And I think you guys having a section on working lands and agriculture, so many of the solution sets are in the sequestration space, promote working lands, forestry, soil management, all those, and that can be a real bridge to the conservative community, and certainly revenue neutral market mechanisms rather than regulatory, cap and control and growing the size of government. Those things are never going to fly. So we need to find those moderate solutions that can resonate with both ideologies. And if we're going to just put forward one that only resonates with one side, we need more solutions that only resonate with the right side of the aisle, because we have plenty that only resonate with the left side.
So if we have a bias, it's to balance the predominance of leftward thinking with rightward thinking, so that there's a healthy ecosystem of alternatives. Yes.
Hi, is this on? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
My name is Lauren Walsh, for those I haven't met yet. I'm in the airline catering industry, and again, I'm so thankful to be here and to meet all these incredible people with these incredible ideas. I think something for me, being less than 5 years into my professional career, as being a young person in this space, I think the most important push that I would suggest is to get back to basics when it comes to education. And I'm not just talking about education in schools. In my role, I oversee about 1,300 employees that are all union from different parts of the world. And the way that I get them to care about sustainability is not through statistics. It's not through complex topics. It's not through, hey, read this book, listen to this podcast. It's very elementary in the education that I share with them, and I feel like that's made the biggest difference in my line of work. The amount of greenwashing and misinformation that's circulating through the media, through just common knowledge, what you see on TV or what you hear on the radio or just hear from your friends, it's astonishing. And I think focusing on, working on your environmental evangelizing as a team could be really, really helpful in just starting with the really simple things, the low-hanging fruit that seems not important, but it's really what's going to make the biggest change. For example, not to get too into it, but my background is in waste management. So I work with recycling and composting and that kind of material circularity. The amount of people just in my family and my community and circle of people that didn't know that, you know, pizza boxes can't be recycled in certain waste vendors, or this type of plastic can be recycled and this one can't. It's the easy stuff that people don't know that can make all the difference. And then people are so shocked when they know that only 9% of plastics get recycled a year. But they're like, well, I'm putting my plastic bags in the recycle. Oh my God, plastic bags can't be recycled. People don't know that. And so working on the biggest topics that are being greenwashed, or the misinformation that's circulating around that, being able to enlighten people on what's true and what's not true, just the low-hanging fruit, I think is it's so easy yet so overlooked, because we think, hey, we need to talk about, you know, the amount of CO2 that's going through the air and greenhouse gases and methane and all these complex topics that are way above, you know, layman's heads.
Where would you focus the education? What, either community, age group, demographic? Where would you, if you had $250,000, what would you do with it to educate?
Honestly, it would be talking to the waste management infrastructure around the country. So that'd be Waste Management, the company, Republic, all of those places. And they need to be the ones that are educating the public mostly. And honestly,
so using that communications method to get to the customers.
It has to be. Because honestly, in someone in my role, I see, you know, for example, I live in Dallas. CWD is my waste vendor for my apartment where I live. On the front of their dumpsters, it says exactly what can and cannot go into the recycling stream. I pay attention to that because this is literally my job. But for, you know, my father who lives in Austin, I have these conversations with him where I'm like, hey, Dad, who's your waste vendor? And he's like, I have no idea. And I'm like, well, then how do you know what to put in your recycle? I have no idea. It's stuff like that where we need it. The waste management vendors are putting the information out there, but unless you consciously make the decision to think about that, I need to go look at what the information they're giving to me, nothing will ever get done. So it's educating people to educate themselves.
Thank you. I see another hand there.
Oh yeah.
No, it's here. Hey, you don't have to push anything.
Hi, my name is Bronwyn. Really happy to be here. I'm a sustainability consultant, and then I also work with Joya Wild Nectar, so working on looking at criteria for evaluating tourism and travel against environmental, social, and economic indicators. And anyway, travel for good. But I have so many thoughts now. As people speak, I always get more ideas. I just wanted to add on the waste side of things. It's just fascinating. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, but I grew up in the States, in Vermont, and we were just having a conversation, and I was like, oh yeah, they only pick up garbage every 2 weeks. They pick up compost and recycling every week. So that's actually penalizing people for extra garbage because it smells in your house, right? So they say, well, we're only going to come get garbage every 2 weeks, but we'll get the compost and recycling. And it's all, I didn't even say this when you were just talking about how it's labeled, it's all city. So it's standard. Like every single pack, we have to sort it quite effectively. I don't know what actually goes into, you know, then there's the other side of things, which is the infrastructure. Where does it actually go? But so that got me thinking about just cross-sharing and like these types of circles, like the leadership circle, but maybe also learning from, you know, all different age groups and even cross-border as well, and what's happening in different cities, or maybe, you know, across, not even just cross-border, but, you know, what's happening in different states.
More education about what's happening in different places for different communities.
What could be possible.
Cross-fertilization of those ideas.
Yeah.
Great.
So that was one idea. I've been thinking a lot about language as well, and the language we use, and what words we've been using the word demonize, and how can we be strategic instead of going all the way in the other direction into these categories, these extreme categories that polarize us. I mean, I was looking at diversity, justice, and freedom. I know these are the 10 ones that were created before. I hate to say this personally. Personally, I feel great about that. Do I think those are the best words to be used right now? Probably not. I wrote down something about environmental justice, and I came back and sat down and said, maybe I should write community resilience. We can all talk about community resilience.
Yeah, right.
Are we all going to talk about environmental justice right now? Probably not.
Yeah.
So, but in my mind, are they the same strategies? Yeah, I would write the exact same strategies down. I was part of a large
Beautiful,
civil infrastructure
beautiful.
project in the States, and it went through a transition, not the most recent one, but the same, the Trump administration to the Biden administration, and we had to completely change the language of the program, but we did the exact same thing. It was a sustainability program, and we changed it to being a resilience program. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, we can make change if we work strategically with each other. There were shared outcomes in that project that we were able to get to. So language is really important in how we work with each other, because I think we can all get behind something like community resilience. So
We have about 2 minutes left. What else do
Who wants to
what else
go?
do we want to? Peter, anything you want to add? Yes.
Just one quick thought. I think I was thinking about that demon quite a bit because we as a party has been demonized quite a bit. The oil companies and or people we don't like. First thing they do is they demonize folks. So I think we need to, speaking for myself, we need to purify the demons. I kind of wrote it down. Purified demon. What do you mean by that, right? So, just for example, oil company, if they can say that we are our end product, which power the cars, the generators for electricity, the output is this, and you again use science to prove it that it's actually just steam, for example. Again. It is the process that we need to go through. Is we're purifying ourselves. We're improving our products, and these are the technology we employ to make ourselves better. Again, I'm not defending cigarette company. I don't know how to defend that, but for oil companies, these are economic values that we bring jobs, we bring in. So emphasize on the goods that they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's a messaging I hope everybody can understand. But in the political spectrum, I think we need to get to the bottom of the why we say those things we do. And why, if we can explain all that, so the other side would understand, we can then come together, because now more than ever, there's a real demons trying to destroy all of us, and yet we're pulling ourselves apart and not uniting.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fundamental problem that we're having today.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful for EarthX for bringing everybody together. On the book that you wrote with the cover, I bought it. Actually, they gave it to me for free. So I'm going to read up on it and make sure that I transfer that message to the world. Yeah.
Terrific. Well, thank you. I think we've had a great day. We've had a great 3 days. I appreciate everybody that has participated in this. Please carry these messages further into the other EarthX events. We've got events all this week. Today we have the eCapital Summit happening, 100 plus investors, 100 plus entrepreneurs. Tomorrow we've got the family offices, about 60 very high wealth families gathering together. Tomorrow we talk about oceans, and Friday as well. And we have the conservation community and the hunters, and more cowboy hats are going to start appearing in the community here. And it's one thing I've learned over time. It's folks on the right, the cowboys and others, they are maybe more primally involved in nature than the left tends to be, and maybe they have that wilding instinct and more of an understanding that we're a part of nature and we're not apart from nature. We need to form those relationships. So keep these communities interlacing with one another, and allow nature to express herself through us. And I think we will find that the solutions will find us. So thank everybody for your participation so far. And please come to our monthlies by Zoom and sign up for EarthX for next year, because you can do it at some ridiculously low price right now. If you do it during the conference, they'll make it extremely easy. So all right, thank you everybody.